So after mixing the marzipan for the directions, I mix yellow then green because yellow can go into green. And look for apples, a little darker green for the leaves of the wreath I'm going to make. Then I do the orange. Orange can bleed into red to make it a little red orange for apples. Want it light so you can put highlights or dark contrast on it later, then a darker red for my berries and bows, and then the red can go into making a dark green for the wreath. Then I just start forming it into the lemons and bananas after it dries a little bit in the air. We'll use food coloring to make like lines on the bananas. We just keep doing that. If it's too sticky, we put a lot of powdered sugar in this to make it more formable, but if you want, you can put less and then use butter. But for the vegetables and fruit, you want it to kind of hold its shape. So I guess I better make some bananas before I run out of yellow. I almost always start with a ball to get all the lines out of the dough. And I roll them so they're a little thicker in the middle. Call it good. Now I'll go into my next color. Got some yellow on my hands, but that won't hurt a light green. In fact, it'll probably help it. I'll roll it a little bit to get some of this yellow streaks into it, and now if there's any marbling in there, it should help because these are going to be apples, so make them slightly bigger. Again, I do the roll the ball. Make sure there's not a bunch of stuff on my fingers. My fingers are getting a little sticky, so I might get some butter to help. I just kind of flatten the top and just kind of play with it. Make some flattish sides and then a little dimple in the bottom. Pretty much call it good. Got the butter dish to keep this from sticking to my hand so much. Kind of like the looks of the shine it gives it. Sort of a natural shine. Theoretically, that'll help the food coloring slip around on it when you're trying to put highlights. Skip to the orange next. So just, oops, I kind of need a toothpick for the orange because you need to put a little tiny divot in the top. This looks more like an apricot, so we'll make this an apricot. And then the oranges will be like this. And let me go get a toothpick. Okay, so I got a toothpick. The little flattish ones work nice for the top part, but then you just kind of poke some little dents all over it to make it look kind of like an orange. I just need a few of those little dimples to give the illusion. Now we'll do apples same way we did the green ones, and see how there's, I don't know if you can see little green flecks in this. For when I mixed it, I did red with a touch of orange, and I had just mixed the green. So that's okay, because that's going to go into an apple, making it look more realistic. So there you have it. Okay, so next I'm going to put on, these have dried a little bit, I'm going to put on the coloring. So I'm going to need red for sort of rosy areas on the fruit. I'm going to just make a little pile of coloring somewhere here on the paper. A little bit goes a long way. Oh, and then I'm going to make brown, so I'll do it over here. Red. What is it? Red and green make brown. So a little bit of red. I'll do about equal portions, or not. I really don't want it to lean red, so since I'm not sure, I will put a little bit more. And mix it up. And that's going to be fine. Now, using the toothpick, oh, I made potatoes as well. They're similar to apricots, but I put a little divot in the top and in the bottom, now that you need it. Maybe I didn't do the bottom. Anyway, and then just a few divots for little eyes around the sides. So, bananas, as I recall, you just make a few lines on them to sort of trick the eye, and you can put a little brown on the ends and call it good. Turn this around. The other fruit, you just use red, and you kind of wipe a little rosy area on them. Doesn't show up that much on the apple. Maybe not. You could put a smidge on the orange. Might be good to dip your finger in butter since these are dried off. Let's see. Maybe I can mix the red with the butter. It's not going to mix that well, but hey, it'll make it a lot less concentrated, so I should be able to, yeah, that's way better. Just want a hint. And then I can come back in with the toothpick, I believe, a little bit of brown, and just put a little indent in the top to make it look sort of like a little stem. These aren't to scale, they're just all sort of bite-sized. So I'm putting it on with one finger and sort of rubbing it around with the other. Whoops, I kind of smeared my stem, but that's kind of cool looking. Okay, let's see what it looks like on an apricot, just a little bit. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Just a little hint. That butter really helps just to give it a hint. Okay, so that's kind of it. Okay, so doing the bananas, I found that you kind of have to hold your toothpick in line, because I was drawing and then I fell off the edge, making a sort of not so straight mark. So I taking my finger here to smear it straight if I can, and I'll call that good enough. But I also put a few dark spots on just a few of the potatoes, but not all of them. So together they look sort of like, but I don't know if you can see the divots I think I like just the divots instead of the dark marks. Here's one without any. Anyway, a few potatoes with dark marks won't hurt. It'll help give depth. Besides, it's done, so too late. Okay, on the apples, instead of just touching it, I found that if you sort of drag it a little bit, as long as it's not too long, that can kind of look good too. Here's one. Let's see, where's the one I drug? I think it was something like this. Anyway, there's just touching it versus dragging it. I don't know, but then you can always drag it. I think I dragged that one. You can always drag it too far, but it's okay.